So, overthinking is a tricky one because without thought, without awareness, without being a critical thinker, you're going to make some pretty poor decisions or you're just going to follow the crowd. You're not going to have any opinions or ideas of your own. Having some level of critical thought is entirely necessary to even, build your own rules for life and have your own standards and live your own life. But there reaches a point where there are diminishing returns, and further contemplation, further thought does not improve your life or get you any closer to whatever goal you're trying to achieve. So in this video, I want to kind of break down this habit of overthinking that I think a lot of successful people tend to have. I'm definitely someone who is critical, who likes to analyze situations and likes to make sure that I'm making the right decision, and with that, I'm constantly thinking. And you might be the same way if you're watching this video right now. Like, to even end up in this YouTube rabbit hole kind of self-improvement space, you typically have to be somebody who is constantly contemplating and constantly thinking, okay, what do I want to do with my life? Are the people around me living the lives that I would want to live? If not, how do I change? What do I need to do? How can I improve? But like I said, it reaches a point of diminishing returns. And what gets you to point A won't get you to point B. So if you want to build your own rules for life and take your own path, you have to be aware enough and enough of a critical thinker to see through the bullshit, to see through the matrix, the noise, whatever you want to call it, and decide, okay, I would not be happy doing that. That takes a good level of critical thought. But at some point, you have to stop. You have to tell that part of your brain to shut the fuck up, and you just have to act. And this is where it gets interesting. I think the balance of life is being able to turn off that part of your brain that wants to constantly contemplate and analyze and make sure that you're making the perfect move, and really just dumb yourself down. Because really what creates a hell on earth scenario is becoming aware of the possibilities around you and becoming aware that you can live a much more fulfilling life, and that you crack the code without doing anything about it. It's like you get to this point where you understand that you are capable of building a successful business or reaching success in any field in your life, and you understand the route that you could take to get there, but then you stand there contemplating, okay, should I take that route, or is there a better option? Is there a better way? Do I need to change something about myself? Is there something else that I need to do? And then you can fool yourself into further contemplation and analyzation without taking any action. So you just have to turn it off and learn to be a fucking idiot. Learn to underthink. That is the balance. That is the beauty of life. That's why sometimes the not smartest people in the world will end up getting really good results, because they're just smart enough to realize oh, I don't want to live normal life. I don't want to work 9 to 5. How do I get around that? Oh, I work. I do the thing. I do the hard thing. And then it's just action. So they're too dumb to overthink, and that's what leads them to success. But if you're a chronic overthinker, you're going to tend to carry that habit on past the point where it benefits you. And at some point, you have to learn to shut that off and just have enough trust and conviction in yourself and in God and the universe that as long as you start taking actions that are in the general vicinity of where you want to go, things will unfold for you, things will work out for you, and you will end up exactly where you need to be. And that's like a point that you reach where you have trust in the things that are outside of your control, because you are going to do your best in controlling what you can control. You have to train yourself to know when you should rely on gut feeling, intuition, rather than thought. Thought will lead you to where you need to be. It'll lead you to most of the answers, but it's still up to you to take the leap of faith, to then take the actions, to then, once you discover that you can build a better life for yourself, you still have to act. Having the knowledge without doing anything about it, again, puts yourself in hell. It's like you're trapping yourself in a cage, and you can see the rainbows, you can see the sunshine on the other side, but you just won't take the necessary steps to get there. And if you do that, it defeats the purpose of critical thought and analyzation entirely. So an example of this I've seen in my own life recently is when I was in college, I very quickly was able to assess like, okay, this is great, I'm having a good time here, but if I do this for the next 4 years, I'm not going to like the position that I'm in once I graduate, and I'm not going to get a job that I really want. I'm not going to live a life that I really want. And a lot of the people that I went to school with, they never got that far. They never thought ahead that much as to like, okay, I'm getting this degree in some random field and I'm partying my ass off for the next 4 years, but like what happens when I graduate? Am I going to actually like this life? And they didn't think that far ahead. So once they graduated, most of them have ended up in positions where they're like not happy with their lives. They're not at a job that they really like. And a lot of them have reached out to me like, hey Ben, what are you doing? How does the online business thing work? Like, how are you making money? And at that point, it's like, bro, what the fuck were you doing for the last 4 years? You were just completely blind to the fact that this reality check was going to come one day. So that's an example of the underthinker. Whereas the overthinker would probably have a very similar thought process to me. They would also arrive at this conclusion of, okay, if I do this for the next 4 years, I'm not going to be happy, I'm not going to be fulfilled. But then there's too many options. There's too many different routes to success. There are all of these different business models that can work. There are all of these different routes that I could take. And then they start to become aware of those. They start to see those. But instead of then turning the brain off and taking the necessary action to find success, they continue thinking, oh, I could take that route, I could take this route. There's an infinite amount of opportunities out there and I need to find the perfect one. Well, what one fits me? What one's best for my personality style? What one's best for my natural inclinations, my natural advantages? And then you just continue to think and think and think and you never take action and you arrive at the same point as the underthinker. But at least if you're an underthinker, then you're probably too dumb enough to even be upset, you know? So it really becomes this double-edged sword where if you don't think enough, you will wait till reality slaps you in the face and wait till you're really unhappy with your current circumstances to then even go and look for change. But if you think too much, then you'll never actually do anything. So the biggest thing I want to leave you with is this. You have to trust yourself. You have to understand that what you put into the universe, you will get out of it. If you work diligently, if you take the right actions, if you bet on yourself and you have a level of conviction in yourself to figure out any future problem that arises because you are capable of doing so and you're doing so in the present moment, then things will naturally fall in line for you. The universe will begin working in your favor and your life will unfold the way that you want it to unfold. It might take twists and turns and have to reroute you a dozen times, but as long as you're moving forward and you're aware enough to know that you're going in a somewhat decent direction, then it'll all work out. You just have to stop second guessing that gut feeling that knows when it's time to actually move. Like in basketball, you know, there were times where I'd catch the ball and I'd just feel it. It's time to let that bitch fly. Like sometimes you just gotta let it fly, bro. And it's a feeling that you have internally, like you catch the ball in rhythm and there's no thought involved. Hands just go up and you shoot the rock. If you pump fake, if you hesitate and you wait for a better shot, then the defender closes out on you and that opportunity goes away. Critical thought and awareness can save you and can lead you to the answer, but further contemplation will put you in hell. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share this with your grandmother. Leave a comment. I love you. I'm back on YouTube, boys. Peace.